watching the end of the BYU game, BYU had every chance to win that game and simply did not perform. And your inability to control the clock. And listen, we should have a conversation about BYU and Kalani Sitake as well. Stop telling me Kalani Sitake should be fired. Oh, you want to talk about his offensive coordinator, Aaron Roderick? Okay, now we can have a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Am I the only one struggling with the play calling and the schematics on offense? You told me that Keaton Slovis wasn't enough.
That he was the problem.
Right?
That he was the issue. That Retzloff was your savior. That Keaton limited you. That Keaton was the game manager. And Keaton was the reason guys were dropping balls that hit them in the hand. And Keaton was the reason because of the turnovers. Yeah, what do I have? What do I have? Retzloff out here doing the same thing. And in combination with that, your awful play calling to limit the offense doesn't help things. And you still found a way to put up more than 30 points. So, yes, I can't. I'm getting confused. How many years in a row are we talking about Aaron Roderick's play calling? Because we definitely talked about it last year. I know for damn sure on this show we talked about it 2 seasons ago because I remember talking about it. So now, if we're going to sit here and rip Ryan Day for losing 3 years in a row, why don't we start using the same logic with Aaron Roderick? Because at some point.
And how did Aaron Roderick get his job? Well, because you forced Kalani to use Ty Detmer, and then he didn't want Ty Detmer, and so he picked his own guy. Criticize him for that. But Jake Retzloff is not the problem. That kid can play quarterback on my team any day he wants. The bad play calling and the poor schematics, especially with the route trees, and maybe I overvalued Cody Epps. Get the kid the football.
I don't think you overvalued him. I think he's just not getting the chances.
And where is LJ Martin? Like I've talked about this repeatedly.
You have.
That I think LJ Martin is absolutely the critical piece that this offense needs. Because he is the only guy, in my opinion. And I think we can have an argument about all kinds of things. But wide receiver depth is not one of them. BYU has phenomenal wide receiver depth. But what does that matter if you can't effectively run the football? And if LJ Martin's not healthy, and if you are not, it's frustrating. The offense at BYU is frustrating.
And here's what I do know. You look at the schedule sheet for this season, and I see, okay, weak competition to start the season. Sam Houston, Southern Utah should beat those guys any day of the week, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool, fine. 2-0, should have done that. The Arkansas game was where they started surprising people. Whoa, BYU went on the road and battled Arkansas and won a game? Who is this team? Right there, I remember everyone was like, hey, this team's capable of keeping it close with Kansas, and that's exactly what they did. Now, Keaton didn't help himself in that game.
No, he didn't.
But they kept it close. So that one, I was like, hey, this is a good loss. First year in the Big 12, you lost Kansas at their place. Hey, you turned it over, but hey, you kept it close. Fine. But we started having issues at the TCU game, right? You beat Cincinnati. The TCU game is where the season kind of went off the rails. Because at that point, you only put up 11 points. Then you beat Tech. Okay. But then from there, you've lost every game. And I'm telling you, people went ahead and just put Keaton Slovis out to pasture. They just said, oh, this kid's not good enough. Not good enough. We got Arch Manning, our Arch Manning sitting on the bench. And that's not what you should be doing at BYU. And I don't understand. And honestly, maybe this is like a state of Utah conversation, because I know people are still pissed about the way Cam Rising was handled this year. But
who's coming back, by the way?
Who's coming back, which is notable. But I don't understand why BYU and Utah play this injury game. If Keaton is not 100%, and that's why he's not playing, then say that. But if it's because you want to play Retzloff, then you need to damn well say that and stop making excuses.
But. Okay, so you have a quarterback issue. We're going to run the football more, right?
Oh, wait.
37 carries. You ran the football 37 times and LJ Martin got 4 fucking carries? He got 37 runs and you gave him 4 carries?
It's a problem.
Excuse my French, you gave him 4 carries? And I would remind you, he put up 5 yards a carry again. And you gave him 4 carries. I am at a loss for where did Isaac Rex go? And I know I'm a big Isaac Rex fan. Throw the kid the football. It's remarkable to me that you're looking at 15 receptions in a game, in an entire game. And Isaac Rex only gets 3 of them. It's what, and Chase, you can only find 1 reception for Chase Roberts, who's an NFL wide receiver. You have a guy in Retzloff who you said was the next thing, and you only threw the ball 30 times, and he completed 14 of them. I'm going to say Keaton Slovis isn't the problem. Anyway, Kalani Sitake, I would hope, has the flexibility to make changes offensively, because defense is not the problem. Defense is not the problem here. In my opinion, defense is not the problem. You're going to have to recruit better. There's no doubt about that. But let's stop with this nonsense that Kalani Sitake is the problem at BYU, because he's not. And there's always going to be dysfunction behind the scenes, in my opinion. But if Jake Retzloff is the guy, 197 passing yards is not enough. And if offensively you need to control the clock so that Ollie Gordon doesn't, give LJ Martin the football. But I don't know. I didn't love what I saw from the wide receivers blocking. Certainly didn't love what I saw from the offensive line. And now your season's over. You're 5-7, and your first year in the Big 12. Here's the thing that I don't understand, everybody in the Fire Kalani crowd. You won 5 games your first year out in the Big 12. And you had a legitimate shot. You had Oklahoma State on the ropes until the play calling in the second half went sideways. And in overtime, I didn't love some of the play calling I saw in overtime. But 5-7 is very, very respectable out of BYU with a lack of talent, and you have to ramp up your depth chart. You're not firing Kalani Sitake. The guy you went 5-7.
And I agree with that. I think the thing that people are hating on is that you had 5 wins with 5 games to go, and you lost all 5.
Well, welcome to the Big 12, because you lost to Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, Iowa State, West Virginia, and Texas. Those are 5 of the better teams in the conference.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, West Virginia. You are Neil Brown ain't getting fired anytime soon.
You will not be saved.
How many West Virginia fans? How many West Virginia fans are like, damn it, we won 6 games. Damn it.
Yeah, where's my boy Neil Brown needs fired?
We're going to a bowl game. This sucks. Bro, no, it doesn't. Right? GTI Brandon. Jay Hill was a huge score. Now we need the same in a new OC. A-Rod has to go. Totally agree with that.
Agreed.
Jim Choi, BYU needs to open up the big fat checkbook they got. Well, they don't have a big, I think there's, Kalani Sitake is well paid. And I love my guy. I do. I think it is no secret on this show. I have a lot of respect for Kalani. I am not convinced that cash comes easily. Like I look at this Texas A&M thing today. They hire a coach today, and somehow his term sheet leaked legitimately to a Texas A&M reporter. His term sheet leaks. And you know what the biggest problem here is? It is that he only gets $11 million for his entire staff: assistants, analysts, operations, recruiting, strength, and conditioning. He only gets $11 million. I don't know what Kalani and his staff make. BYU does not replace that, or release that, excuse me. But you better be able to replace the offensive staff. And I don't know, is Jeff Grimes a guy that you're banging to rehire? If he wants to be the offensive line coach, sure, he was one of the best offensive line coaches of my generation. I would absolutely love to have Jeff Grimes back.
Sure.
Grimes is but he's not an offensive coordinator that I'm looking to hire. The game is, The thing I struggle with, and I think Kalani knows this. In fact, I know he does. He's a defensive guru. This game is dual threat quarterbacks that can throw while they're outside the pocket. And if they don't see it, they can run. But you have to have a quarterback whose first inclination is to throw the ball, and he runs to be able to throw. And if you're going to give me 12 yards of green space in front of me, I'm going to take off and use that. And Jake Retzloff is that guy, right? He is that guy, and I don't have any problem with him as a starting quarterback next year. You need better offensive line play. You need better offensive line talent. And I hope, and Cody Epps said he's coming back, I hope that's the facts. I hope that's the case. I love that kid. You've got to learn to build an offense that will leverage the best talent you have. And they're not doing that at BYU. They're not. We can all sit here and talk about the fact that the depth chart is not what it needs to be. I'll grant you that. I completely agree. But where is the Tyler Batty fake punt on offense? Where's that creativity? Where is that desire to be elite? Because when you throw a fake punt to Tyler Batty and he blows a dude up at contact, that tells me you want to be elite. That tells me that this team plays hard for Kalani. What I don't understand is where is that creativity, ingenuity, and design in BYU's offense? Because I know Kalani Sitake, it's in his head. He wants that. He embraces that. If you go to Kalani and you say, I have this idea, let's win, he's going to say yes. Do you know, I don't know this to be fact. Do you know how long they practice that Tyler Batty fake punt? I'm guessing it's months. Months and months and months. Nobody had ever seen it. Nobody had ever heard about it. And that's why it was so effective.
And because he's got stones to call it.
And he said yes. And it put them in a great spot. The bottom line is this offense is talented enough. It's not well executed. Their details are missing. And I just cannot continue to pound that point home enough. The missed throws, the miscommunication, guy breaks in, ball's thrown out. Like
it's last night.
There's too much of that.
It's last night with Josh Allen, right?
Yes.
Hey, that should have been a touchdown. But because you and your guy are not on the same page, it's not a touchdown. And that's probably happening, 7-8 times a game at least for BYU. And just at a core level, I'm a huge believer. Put your best player in position to make a play.
Yes.
Just keep it simple, right?
Yep.
So, hey, it's like Neil Brown needs to be fired, philosophy. We're going to run the hell out of the football.
Like I look at a kid like Rayleigh Brown, who is a receiver at USC who's in the portal. Find somebody who knows him. Cody Epps is from Los Angeles, Southern California. Get on the phone. Get on the phone. And I swear if one more person tells me, well, bro, you got to be Mormon. Jake Retzloff is Jewish, friends. No, nobody. Keaton Slovis is not LDS.
God bless.
You don't have to be LDS to play at BYU. Is it a different lifestyle? Yes. Do you have to abide by the honor code? Yes. Can you have sex with a bunch of girls like your Josh kid? No, you cannot.
Wow, dude. Wow.
Too soon. Anyway, my point is, you can go and well, they can't get Rayleigh Brown. How do you know? He's not coming here. How do you know?
Waves in opposition.
Are you going to call him? No. Well, yeah, you better. You better. And you better be trying to upgrade the quarterback. If you don't call Will Howard, you're a fool. Call Will Howard.
Hello, we're not available now.
Is there a better fit for BYU than a clean-cut white guy, a quarterback who can throw the ball all over the field? But I'm serious.
Isn't that what Keaton is?
Yes. No, he's not accurate enough. But
he was accurate enough to win you the first 5. Apparently not accurate enough to win you one more.
Let's talk about it. I'm a good listener.
Use the mentality that allowed you to call the Tyler Batty fake punt and call Rayleigh Brown. It ain't rocket science.
Call Ray Leak. Can I get a t-shirt, please?
Yes.
Call Ray Leak.
Main event. BYU only won 2 conference games. In year 1 in the Big 12, I think it's fantastic.
Keep it real.
Was this not a good season? Wait, and I'm being serious.
Look, I understand why people are frustrated about how you ended the year. I I'm even inclined, in my opinion, to say it's inexcusable, even with the level of competition you're facing, to go 0-5 down the year. That's just not acceptable. And it stings more because you had to go 1-4 to be bowl eligible. That's what I think BYU fans all pissed off about. But the reality is you were never in the Texas game. You were never, sure, the score says you were in the Oklahoma game, but they should have always beat you.
Always,
every day, twice on Sunday. I don't give a damn who says what.
But what do all those points mean? This team didn't quit. This team didn't roll over. This team didn't say, "Oh, it's Oklahoma."
They did 5 wins with that garbage play calling, man.
We're getting our ass kicked. We're just going to roll over, because there's a lot of teams out there who did that. Go see Dana Holgerson in his situation. Go see Dave Aranda at Baylor. Go see Texas A&M. Go see Mississippi State. Go on. Go look at them, because there's a lot of teams out there who did that, and BYU is not one of them. Kalani Sitake is not the problem in Provo.
And I think BYU fan, with all due respect, does this too much, because it's every year.
Every single
year we get the fire Kalani parade that happens after the year. And every single year when we start the new year with a new coordinator on either side of the ball, BYU fan thinks they're going to the playoff. You guys got to be more level-headed about it. Just come to the middle a bit.
Yeah, totally agree. And listen, what do I tell you every day? I tell you I'm excited to go home and go to TryDayTrading.com and get my trading night started. And I absolutely am. Hour number 2 of the Monty Show, presented by our good friends at TryDayTrading.com. You guys, go get the $10 30-day trial membership. It will absolutely change your life. It's $10 that goes to charity, so it's a tax write-off. And you get 30 days to play with their entire program. You get elite coaching in that 30 days. They give you all their proprietary software, their processes, their indicators. They teach you how to make a boatload of cash day trading, and I'm telling you, it's an addiction. I love it. Cannot wait. Mrs. Monty's fired up about it. We were in Hawaii last week, as you know. We were in Hawaii all week, and what were Mrs. Monty and I talking about one morning? Man, day trading, and it's legitimate. My wife is now telling me, because we were talking about over the last week how we can make more money, because we're the people that we're trying to pay off our house early. We're trying to pay our cars off early. We're trying to be zero debt. And so we were talking about, hey, we're in a really good spot, but we could be in a better spot. And she said, because I said, one of the things I've talked about is becoming a male model. And, because there's a big market to model gloves. And she said, no, you don't need to do that. We need to focus on TryDayTrading.com and learn it well, so that we can make a living on Tri-Day Trading. And she's absolutely right. It'll pay off your house early. It'll pay off your cars early. It'll send you on those vacations you've always dreamed of. It'll get you fit for PXG golf clubs. It'll do all of the things that you said to yourself, I can't afford that. And in this holiday season, here's a question I would ask you. If you're the guy that's like, man, I wish I could get my kid that G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip. It's just that far out of my reach. Hey, I wish I could get my kid that e-bike he's really wanted. He really wants that e-bike. I just can't afford it. All his friends down the street have it. I can't afford it. And you feel bad about it. Your car's broken down, or hey, maybe you lost your job. Stop trying to fight yourself. You're not a bad person. You need to make a good decision and go to TryDayTrading.com. Get yourself a $10 30-day trial membership. It's less than the cost of a fast food meal for 30 days to change your life. TryDayTrading.com/Monty. Make sure you tell me you heard about it on the Monty Show.